I'll introduce them now very shortly. My name is Bassie Montewa. I'll be with you up until 4 o'clock. This is Backchat. Feel free to drop us a call on 021-448-5441. Twitter handle is at Bush Radio. And also you can catch us on Facebook, Bush Radio 89.5 FM. And also you can drop us an SMS, 32158. Latoya, thank you, man, for that stunning show, Saki Sizwe. Interesting, talking about the people's rights. Do we really know our rights? Very interesting. I was listening, girl. I enjoyed that part of it. I missed the other part. I'm sorry, I was on my way to the station. You can catch her again tomorrow from 12 o'clock up until this hour, 2 o'clock. At half past, you can catch up with the African news headlines. Without wasting any time, there is a reason why I invited them, because I repeat and I reiterate that they are making a difference in our immediate communities. They're here. And should I introduce her? They know you already, Mel.
So shall I just introduce myself, Bassie? So Happy New Year to all the Bush Radio listeners. I'm Melanie Burke, and as you know, I love the city that we call Cape Town, and I'm incredibly privileged and honored all the time, as you say, Bassie, to be contributing in a small way to making change happen in the wider city as well as in our communities. And I've brought a friend today, so I'm joined in studio by Kim Jackson, who is my friend from Symphonia Leadership Development Organization. And I'm going to give her time to just introduce herself to us and maybe talk a little bit more about Symphonia Leadership Development and some of the work that we're going to do together.
Oh, of course, definitely. Kim, welcome, by the way. Introduce yourself, ma'am.
Hello, Bassie, and thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to introduce the Symphonia Leadership Development side of the company. You know about the Partners for Possibility that Mel can tell you a little bit more about, which is the fantastic work that we're doing in the schools. But on the leadership development side, we are hosting every quarter in Cape Town and Johannesburg a Women in Leadership breakfast.
Okay, yeah.
And what we do is we invite women to come along and spend a morning with us. At each event, we have 4 fabulous women talking, sharing of their wisdom, their experience, so that women can be together in one supportive environment. All women from all backgrounds, all ages. Just a beautiful, supportive environment for us to learn and share with one another.
Just for interest, how is this the first time it would be happening, or has it been happening?
Oh no, we've been doing it. This is our 2nd year now. We just do it every 3 months, so it's 4 a year, and it's very well supported, I must say. But I just want to reach out to women that think perhaps it's just for business women or just for people in the corporate. It's not. If you're an entrepreneur and you're looking to build a network, you want to meet more people, come along to our breakfasts. Perfect for that.
And in fact, King, just to add to that, I think the other benefit of participating and being in the attendance at a breakfast like this is the incredible people you would meet who would be in that room, let alone the people who are going to be speaking to us. And I think it's also the opportunity not just to learn from each other, but to be re-inspired by each other. And I think,
and hear their stories, what they say, how they started, you know.
Because we all lead in very, very different ways, and it's for all of us to become more effective in our own leadership style that organizations like Symphonia runs these breakfast series. And I think that they're incredibly exciting to be part of something like this.
And Mel is a part, because she is one of our very honored speakers at our next one.
She's no.
Actually, Kim, you should tell Bassie and the listeners what the topic for this Women in Leadership breakfast is going to be next month.
It's February, and it's called Love in the Workplace.
Okay. Love in the workplace.
This is about humanity, bringing the heart into work.
Okay. But not forgetting that you're at work, or not taking love to another level.
We need to stay focused.
Stay focused.
Bassie, you're always so excited when I come and visit you, and you always talk about how well I am. And I think part of that wellness has to do with doing something that is meaningful, that you love doing. And I think when we use the word love, it encompasses so much more than just agape, I guess, which is the love that we talk about in the Bible. But it's also about this love, as Kim said, for humanity, and about bringing all that you are into the workplace and creating a very conscious way of being, which is about being supportive, being together, as opposed to being competitive and breaking each other down. Because I think all of us, in the changing environments we work in South Africa and in the world,
we're stressed, eh?
We are so stressed.
We're tense.
And I think oftentimes it's because we're not invited really to come with all that we are into the workplace. And so we have to leave the part that's a mother and the part that's a wife and all the other things you have to leave in the parking lot. And then just the accountant or the human resources manager comes to work. And as human beings, that's a large part of who we are. And these roles that we play are encompassed in one individual, and we have all these different roles. And imagine if somebody had to say to you, Bassie, leave the left-hand side of your body at home, and you can't come to Bush Radio with the left-hand side of your body. You're not going to be able to work here. You can't do your job, and there's such a large part of you missing. And I think corporates are discovering that's
the
not
left
okay.
needs the right, the right needs the left.
Absolutely. And and I think this is the conversation about love. Bring all that you are, your whole humanity, to the office.
Kim, I'd love to take you back, and it's very interesting because we are human at the end of the day, and the society we live in, whether we like it or not, it's so stress, it's and we are expected, especially for the mothers. I always watch it. My wife, sometimes I feel so pity for her. They're still young ones. She comes, she has to be a wife at home. She has to look after this light. Sometimes I try to bring my sons to me, and they want their mother, and they would cry, mommy, because they want their attention. And sometimes she wants to sleep because she's tired, and it's what she works on the computer and all that, she has to juggle around all those works.
Yes.
In a South African society, which is so stressed and surrounded by this, can we really break it through? Is it possible?
It's absolutely possible. It's happening worldwide. It requires a level of consciousness and the support of other women. In fact, let's be honest, the support of everyone. There's no reason why men cannot be supportive of women. So this is just an event that we host to bring women together to say, nobody's perfect.
Okay.
Everybody is battling.
I'm just like the same. Yeah.
Exactly. Let's just share the lessons instead of trying to reinvent them every time.
Yeah, it's like having paid school fees. I've learned a particular lesson around stress or being unbalanced at work. So Bassie, my story. 7-8 years ago, I was weighing 42 kilos. And that's not the weight of a grown woman. And that was stress-related because you forget yourself because you're so tired, you're juggling, you're doing so much else that you forget to look after yourself.
To look at yourself.
And so it's also about self-love. It's also about being able to say, yes, I am the CEO of my company, and I am a woman, and I am a mother, and I am a wife, and sometimes I just need to be still also, and sometimes I need to just go to a place where I can find inspiration or some way that my filters that are being emptied now can get topped up. And often women do the best topping up that we can find because we know each other, we know the stresses and the tribulations, and being in community with other women is an incredibly powerful thing. And that's also part of what the Women in Leadership Breakfast series is about.
I'm sitting here talking about, I'm thinking about that woman in Kailicha in Philippi who also trying to make inroads into business sector, and most of them also there's competition. Either might be selling the same stuff which has been sold 5 to blocks, the same thing. Competition is high here, and she's expected again to be a wife, to be a woman, to take the children to crèche, all those things. Now, and there are no resources also again, resources, we know those are things. Is it possible to see that woman in this same table sitting next to Kim and say, Kim, it's speaking confidently also, say, hey, this is my problem and how I need help?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You must just see in the Partners for Possibility programs, you see the principals of the schools who are in such a tight corner. The school is not doing well. They're not getting the marks. They don't have any confidence in themselves anymore. And then they go onto the program where they partner with other principals and partners. Yeah. And then they don't have to solve every problem in isolation. They have a community to go to help them. So yes, a woman selling cigarettes and some fruit and yes, absolutely, why not? She's an entrepreneur in her own right. And she doesn't have to feel isolated and struggling.
if I remember when I first started my business 10 years ago, I think that was the biggest challenge for me, the loneliness. Because as you say, if they're not resources, cash flow isn't happening, and you've just left your very big fancy corporate job, and now you're an entrepreneur. Where do you go to just say to somebody, I need to take a little load off. I'm struggling. I need to talk to somebody who can perhaps support me, or just offer me some advice, or sometimes just listen, because we already know the answers. And sometimes being in community with other women helps surface that. It makes us less afraid to seem like we're vulnerable or seem like we're about to fail. And sometimes somebody else's story helps us understand that actually that's a very common mistake we make. And yes, what can we learn from what the other person has gone through, and how can we then adapt our behavior or our way of being in our business? And whether it's a spaza shop or a listed company, women in any form of business, you're still a woman and you're still a leader. And I think it's about bringing it home to wherever it is you are located, that we can learn from people who are often very different from us, that allows us to inspire our own way of leading in exactly where we find ourselves.
That's Mel Burke, of course, founder member of Street Smart.
Yes, Street Smart, Common Purpose. I'm also actually an advisory group member of Symphonia for South Africa, the not-for-profit, working with Partners of Possibility. So this collaboration here with Symphonia Leadership Development is actually, it was something that was just waiting to happen.
I wonder, we need an interview just on that. When do you have time? How did you manage to have time for yourself? Kim, let's talk now about this women in leadership. Is it breakfast?
It's a breakfast. Basically, we have 4 women who give of their time to speak about their experiences and the lessons they've learned, and pass on generously advice and share. And then people come and sit and listen. There's a breakfast. And after each speaker, there's a short break where you can go to the speaker and chat to them, find out how you can have some one-on-one time with them, and then have another cup of coffee or another juice, and then sit down again for the next speaker.
Where is this happening, and when, and who will be talking? Who are the guest speakers?
What I'd like to is to speak to you later, and I'll give you the details, the dates for them. But the next one in Cape Town is the 13th of February. And my email address is kim@symphonia.net. And that's KYM at Symphonia, SYMPHONIA.net. And we'll repeat that again a little bit later.
All right. So you will be also be one of those, I heard so, that you also be Mel.
What a lovely invitation to get. And so, as Kim was saying, there are always 4 speakers, and people who have lived particular lives, who have led particular lives. And I think the sharing of each other's stories is the thing that matters to me, because I don't have answers for you or for another woman, but simply through sharing my perspectives and my experience of what it's like to lead as a businesswoman, I know that I'll be able to inspire somebody else. It's about the resonance that we find. Somebody could learn from something I have done particularly well, or even something I haven't done so well, and they can modify that and adjust it to something that's very useful for them in their own lives. Because I can't come and tell you what will work for you, because you and I are not the same. And so, there's a presumption here that I'm an expert, and I understand I'm an expert only in my perspective. I'm an expert in my life. But through opportunities like the Women in Leadership Breakfast, where you're having such a variety of perspectives, it starts to broaden all of our perspectives. And I'm doing this very much so because I think there's an opportunity for me to learn. And so to be part of an opportunity like this, and a breakfast like this with all the amazing people that I'm hoping to meet, it's very beneficial to me, because I'm not done yet. We keep learning.
Not by a long shot.
Of course.
No?
Even you're going to learn from the people who will be there.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Will be shared. Who's invited here? Who's invited?
We have a client base that we've been working with for 8, 9, 10 years in our field of leadership development. So we offer a wide range of workshops and courses and events to bring people together to develop leadership skills, from basic personal leadership skills. How do I communicate effectively, or how do I manage my emotions so that I can think through a problem with a cool head? Those kind of things, from managing self to managing others. So we have a wide range of those events, and our customers that we've built up a relationship with And it's a wide range, from the corporates to the entrepreneurs, school teachers and principals, wide range of people. And we communicate with them and invite them to these events.
There's a woman who's listening who's interested in this. Can you just grab a phone or can you just how's the process? How does she fit in here?
Absolutely. She can grab a phone. She can dial 021 9133 507. Speak to Jolene and book your seat.
Okay. When is this happening, Mel?
This one is happening on
the
Friday,
13th?
the 13th of February.
Friday the 13th? No, nothing.
We're talking about love,
It's love.
so it's really not going to matter on that day.
Yeah, okay.
Just before Valentine's Day, which is the 40th. As you know, it's the, you know.
Mel has already started. Me and Mel, by the way, we've already started.
We're both wearing red today, which is the color of love.
Oh my word, I'm so out here.
No, your heart is love.
Yes,
Of course,
my
your
heart's
heart. So, yeah.
I want to just add one other thing, Bassie, because I think we mustn't lose sight of the sort of constructs of power in this relationship to love. And I'm reminded of a quote by Martin Luther King that said, power without love is abusive, and love without power is sentimental and anemic. And so I think it's important for us in the constructs of our business and the hierarchies which relate to power in our business to contextualize this notion of love. So we're not, as you started out at the beginning of the show, saying that kind of love. We're not talking about that kind of love. We're talking about something that actually requires balance, because when we come to work, we have a job to do. We're there to lead. We're there to grow the bottom lines of our businesses, and at the same time we're also there to take care of the assets and the resources that we've been privileged to have hold of. So I think it's about also that as a balanced conversation, and I think women struggle particularly with balancing both their professional and personal lives, and I think there'll be something for everybody at this breakfast to take away.
Okay. Is there a website they need to visit, Kim?
Yes, www.symphonia.net.
Okay, that's a,
So
and
can I
all
give
the
you
links.
the phone number one more time?
Okay, please, Kim.
021
Yeah.
9133 507.
7. Okay, that's the number, and there is somebody looking at
There
us.
is.
Each and every woman who's in business, who is interested, in grab the phone and phone.
Definitely.
All the details.
Come along, join us.
Mel, thanks for coming.
And if I may just say, Bassie, if you are a woman that has a message to share with other women, contact me again.
Okay. Unfortunately, I'm not invited in this.
You are. Men are not excluded.
One day.
If they're men in support of women, they're
Yeah.
welcome.
All
Most
right.
welcome.
I'm sure the whole of Bush Radio will rock up. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Bassie.
Thank you.
Here's a song taking us to the African news. Bule Lwabase with A Woman's Journey. Let's see what she says.
A woman's
The universe itches at the soul.